What is an extension method? What is the essence of it? Find out in this video. Hello and welcome to Code with Sar. I'm Sar. How are you doing? Since the last video, I've been thinking maybe I overpromised a little bit on those topics I'm going to talk about. Luckily, I didn't set a deadline, I guess. So I guess I just pick some topics that I mentioned in that video and tackle them one by another. It is the first topic to follow up today, so I'm going to pick something simple but useful. Extension method. Within this video, I'm going to talk about what is extension method. If you have never created an extension method before, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do it. We're going to review the example of extension method being used in the JWT Authentication Library. And toward the end of the video, we're going to have a discussion on the essence of the extension method. Let's dive in. I'll spend a couple of minutes to talk about how to create an extension method. If you already know about it, feel free to jump ahead. Writing extension method on the surface seems like a way for us to extend a class that we don't own. For example, if I want to double the number of an integer, I can say x equals x multiplied by 2. However, every modern language should provide a method named double on its number, isn't it? Nah, it isn't. But we are going to create one for ourselves. Now, since we don't own the structure of int in C#, Microsoft owns it, obviously. That means we cannot crack open the structure of int and add a method. So what we can do is add an extension method to the type of int. And here's how. Step 1, create or pick a static class. Step 2, write a regular static method. The type of the first parameter needs to match the type that we want to extend. For example, if we want to extend the type of integer to provide a double method, the type of the first parameter has to be integer. Like what I have here, public, static, integer, double, and the parameter is going to be integer. At this moment, what we have is a public static method within a static class. The last piece to make it an extension method is to put this keyword in front of the first parameter. Now we can call it. You probably notice at this moment, there's no parameter for a double method. That's because x is a parameter. So to call an extension method, the parameter passed in is always going to be one less than it is on the method. Now, if you have never created an extension method by yourself, I highly encourage you to do it now. Don't just watch. Do it. You're going to feel it and then learn it. Now, if you try to create one and you cannot see the extension method when you try to call it, make sure the class, the static class, the method is a public static method, and you didn't forget this keyword. Oh, one other thing to mention is pay attention to the namespace where the extension method class is in. To see the extension method, it has to be either in the same namespace as the caller, or you're going to have a using statement on top of the file to use it. At this moment, I am pretty confident that you all mastered how to create and use an extension method. Let's take a look at what I did in the JWT Authentication Library. It is actually very simple. I create this service collection extension class. Notice it is a static class, which is good for extension method. And then there is a public static method of the @JWT Auth with this keyword stating this is an extension method, and the type of the first parameter is iServiceCollection, so it is an extension method to iServiceCollection interface. Now, if you pay attention, I do have 3 parameters in this extension method, but 2 of them are optional. That means I can call this method with the 0 parameter or 1 parameter or 2. Let's refresh our memories on the usage. On configure services method, the iServiceCollection is actually already created by ASP.NET Core, and we call this extension method of @JWT Auth with 1 parameter. Actually, if we hover over it, we'll see this @JWT Auth is an extension method which requires which accepts 2 optional parameters. That's a well-established pattern for libraries to putting their services onto service collection. If you are writing a library that needs to put services onto the service collection, try this technique. Now let's come back and ask some deeper question, and that is, what is extension method? Since an extension method could be used to extend an existing class, a common misunderstanding is that this could be a replacement for OC principles in OO design, so that you can close everything and leave the extension to the class to extension method. That can't be further from the fact. For that, if you didn't design your class well enough for the abstraction, you're not going to be able to extend it. Extension method is not going to help address any of the issue like that, because it cannot access any protected members of a class. Why? Because extension method is just a syntactic sugar. The essence of an extension method is a static method in a static class. Take a look at this extension method of double we wrote together. You can call it in the form of a static class dot static method. For example, let's define the equals extension methods. Now this is a class name dot double. This is the method name, and then give it a parameter of x. This form is equivalent to the equals x dot double. Now imagine if I rename extension methods to utilities. Do you feel more familiar with it? And that's how I want you to see it. The essence of the extension methods are actually utility class. Let me double on that. If I open the same code in IOSpy, when I use the settings of C#9, both y and a are assigned by x.double, and the implementation of double is currently in form of extension method as well. However, if I flip the C# version to C#2 or C#1, you'll see the method is changed back to the static method. This one doesn't come with this keyword, because it is not supported in this version of C#. Instead, what it does have is this extension attribute on both method and the class. And the callers, as expected, has been changed back to using the normal static classes and the static methods. So this is a common way for C# to put some syntax sugar on top of the language. We write the code in the form that is good for our eyes, with some piece of special keywords, this in this case. And when the code compiles, it compiles the code into another format that is not as good for read, but already exists. My opinion on that is great, we can take the advantage of it. But at the same time, we need to understand what's happening exactly. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. You know what I enjoy? It's for you to press down that funny looking grayish thumb up button below. No, I'm kidding, I don't care. Maybe a little bit. Okay, nah. You're so welcome to leave a comment. Subscribe if you want to see more of this series. And I appreciate those already subscribed. Thank you. Keep coding, keep improving. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.